Eilish has announced the details of what's shaping up to be one of the year's biggest albums, and it's going to have a green spin. The star says her third record, Hit Me Hard and Soft, which comes out on the 17th of May, will have a sustainability plan to minimise environmental impact. Vinyl copies will be pressed on recycled or eco-vinyl, with all the packaging made from recycled materials. Earlier, I spoke to Greg Cochran, co-host of Sounds Like a Plan, a podcast that's all about the action the music community is taking on climate.
Billie Eilish has a track record for taking different forms of action on climate, whether that's creating events for people to speak about what's happening in climate action or powering her live concerts on clean energy, a whole range of things. And so this is an interesting development. And last month in an interview with Billboard magazine, she described the trend of artists releasing more variations of the same album on vinyl as wasteful, and so this is her form of action to address that, and she's saying that it's a step, it's not the complete answer. In the announcement that she made about the album that's forthcoming, she said this is an imperfect journey of efforts, and Billie is using a range of solutions as she works with her team towards constant improvement. So,
but she's still releasing 7 vinyl albums, isn't she?
She is, yeah. That's absolutely a fair observation. What we know is that music fans often still want to collect something that's physical. We've seen that in the resurgence of vinyl sales in the past decade. And sometimes those vinyl records don't even get played. They're something that people get to display or keep or show fandom. But what I think you're kind of witnessing is a moment of transition for the format, not the start or the end, but somewhere in the middle. So in the near future, there will be formats that fans love just as much as traditional vinyl, that sound just as good and feel just as collectible and as special. And so this is a move from Billie that's a step, and there will be further steps from her and from other artists in the future, I think.
And obviously an artist as big as her, you know, that's going to garner a huge amount of publicity. More broadly in the music industry, how is it doing in terms of attempts to go greener?
Yeah, well, there's enough happening for us to create a podcast that's entirely dedicated to all of the action that's happening in the music space and speak to an enormous range of people and organisations about what's happening. That there is a great deal, and I think that speaks to the fact that music and culture is uniquely powerful when it comes to the action that's happening on climate change, because music has that ability to connect with people, billions of people, and culture is the way that we experience the world around us. So in terms of art and music, when artists are our icons and our heroes, and so when they encourage and by being that, they encourage our ways of thinking, and their art is really important because it invites us to experience what different futures feel like. So you're right, when Billie Eilish does something like this and a Billie Eilish fan holds a piece of bio vinyl in their hands for the first time, or if Coldplay incorporate elements of sustainability in their live shows and people go along and experience that and love it, then that's an invitation to experience what different ways of doing things feel like.
And do you think others now will follow Billie Eilish now that she's taken this step, and will the fans demand that?
I do. We know that music fans want action in climate on climate. We know that, like everybody else, they care very much about this. And new ideas obviously always come along with debate and discourse and attention. That's totally understandable. But I think artists want to make art that connects with people. That's their priority. But they also want to make a fair living with what they produce. They want to, like the majority of people listening and watching to this right now, they know that climate change is happening and they care about the present and the future and what it means for themselves and their families and the generations after us. So if there is a format that comes along that's just as good, possibly even better, and is affordable to produce and has a reduced impact on the environment, then I think it will be a likely direction of travel. And people want to help and they want to support and they want to have options. And this is an example of something that's really doable.